Hey everybody, how you doing? So I'm not a soccer expert, and yet I love watching, in particular, the women play. I've done that so for years. I'm really puzzled, and I want to know what you think happened where it looks like it just feels like we lost. And the way I see the whole thing, when we were saying, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that we tied with Portugal, and yet, you know, hats off to Portugal for playing a heck of a contest. It was inspiring in the way that you would expect us to be. It was energetic in a way that you would expect us to be. And by us, I mean the United States. And yet they didn't get it, but they almost did. And the simple fact that they came, this close, a, a ricochet from winning should tell us, you and me, okay, that, hey, that could have been, and you know, and I know, okay, that could have been a loss for us, period. And it's, yeah, I wouldn't be mad if someone said, well, it should have been a loss for us, right? Uh, because it feels like we lost. It just feels like we lost. And there are a number of speculations. I'm actually looking at the comments on Twitter, and Megan Rapinoe's name was up front and center. And yet she, I mean, when I think of Megan, I think of a shot that she tried to make, and it just came off like she missed it. She was kicking out of almost frustration and then just missed it. Okay. Um, and MSN is saying, well, Megan Rapinoe's energy as a second half substitute could not spark the United States, which slipped through to the round of 16 in the Women's World Cup with an uninspiring 0-0 draw against Portugal Tuesday. Uh, it just feels like we lost. It really does. And it feels like, and I'm reading Steve Alvarez is saying Carly Lloyd on television here is speaking truths. Yeah, she was. You know, uh, she said that she knows Jersey Girl, World Cup winner, who doesn't care about speaking her mind. Collectively, they stunk, and but Rapinoe stood out in terms of those who didn't. Anyway, it's hard for me to say that because I don't know the contest well enough. I will tell you what I see from the perspective of a rank amateur, right? A rank amateur viewer. How's that? I see a team that is being outplayed physically by its opponents that faced a Portugal team that arguably was faster than it was. And yet the Portugal team started out with a handicap because, hey, it's America and you can get blinded by the stars and stripes. And for a second, it looked like that was what was happening. But then, like any other sport where you have an organization that's supposed to be much lesser than the other organization, realize it's not, all of a sudden they start, what's the word on the street, feeling themselves, getting confident, and realizing, hey, look, we can beat you, okay? And that's the kind of process that we saw tonight, play out before our very eyes. Hey, we can beat you. We can beat you, and they almost did. That close. It almost reminds me of that saying by Maxwell Smart, which says, missed it by that much, right? Because that's precisely what happened. And I also think that we too much get involved in not rooting for our own country in not being patriotic. And a number of people would say, well, the country doesn't give us enough to be patriotic about. I get it. We have to turn that around. All this goes together as I see it. Because if you're not proud to be an American, if you are underpaid or underfinanced still, and rent's going up and all these things are happening back home, you're not going to play to your fullest. And so we've got to make absolutely certain that our athletes are able mentally to play to their fullest, right? And so that means we have to have a bigger and better involvement by the federal government than what we get right now. And it's not a matter of if we want to win this thing, we got to want to win it. All right. We got to want to win it as I see it. Otherwise, why be in it? You can't just say, well, oh, we're American citizens and we have to have a team in there, win or lose. Well, if you're going to do it to win. Play to win. Play to win. That's what I say. Play to win. But I can't say that the women didn't give it their all. They were coached a certain way that was not effective. That has to stand front and center. All right. And to me, that way was, well, they're spread out. Portugal was compacted, and Portugal seemed to be running plays, whereas we didn't. We were a group of individuals out there. And then the other thing that really stuck out in my head is that we didn't attack to score when the angle was right. We waited, we hesitated, like we weren't confident that we could hit it. And there were a number of instances where one of our scorers would hesitate rather than just kick it. And that moment of hesitation, guess what happened? The defense would close in. So the window that was open was closed. That happened a bunch of times. So I'm concerned about the next contest. We had this conversation before, not you and I, but in general, about what's happening in the United States after the Netherlands, because the Netherlands arguably should have beat us too and didn't. I mean, we're clearly in trouble. It takes a coaching adjustment because we don't have the athletes to be worlds better than our opponents. So we're going to have to get crafty. We're going to have to get tricky if we want to win. All right, subscribe to Zinni62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. I'll see you.